I am standing here with summer horns, and it is an honor. Wow.
For us too.
Oh my
Definitely for
goodness.
us.
This is like the powerhouse group here. You're all such gifted musicians individually. Most of you I've interviewed several times, except Mindy.
I know.
This is my first time getting a chance to talk to you, and I
I'm
can't
very
wait
excited.
to hear you. They're getting ready to hit the stage, so we're going to make this quick. Let's talk about Summer Horns. I'm going to start with you, Dave Cause, my friend from years ago. And tell me how you guys got together.
Well, this was an album that had been kind of floating in my head for a long time. Being a huge Tower of Power fan. In fact, the first album that I ever bought was Tower of Power Back to Oakland. So doing an album that celebrated not just Tower of Power, but all the great horn section bands. Chicago, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Sly and the Family Stone,
Nice.
James Brown, Stevie Wonder had the use of horns in pretty much every song. So many great horn licks, and that's the golden era, for me at least, the golden era of music. So it was in my mind to do an album like this, and then the calls started to make that to happen. I called Mindy, I called Gerald, I called Richard. They were excited to be a part of it.
I love it.
And we put, as I like to say it, we supersized the sax section. And we've got the four of us, and we've been having a blast. We made a really wonderful and very fun record where you know every song, and it really takes you back. And we just started our summer tour, and we've been having an absolute blast. And getting a chance to be on the stage with these three
I know.
is a dream come true.
It's got to be amazing. All right, Richard, how do you feel about all of this?
Oh, I'm thrilled to be a part of it. You know, I've known all of these amazing musicians for many years. Dave and I have known each other for a long, long time, and we've done little things together, but never done an actual project together. So when he called, I didn't have to think very hard. I mean, I wanted to be a part of it, and
Then you said Tower of Power.
Oh yeah, well, you know,
I'm all over it.
that was very fortunate period in my life, and to come back and sort of revisit that with this type of a tribute is really kind of a dream come true.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can't beat summertime, and you can't beat summer horns. Okay, Mindy, we're just meeting.
We are.
So, and you're so beautiful, and I can't wait to hear you on the stage. But I'm a fan of your music. I've been playing your music on my jazz radio show, as well as every one of your CDs. So thank you for the good music. I have to skip over you to Gerald for a second. We go way back. We're like family.
Let's not count the years.
Let's not count the years, but you're looking good, babe.
Thank you. You too, babe.
So tell me about, and I'm assuming that Dave made the call to you about getting together with Summer Horns. What was your response?
Well, it was a very brief call. He just basically told me what the concept was, and I said, "My bag is already packed. Let's go. Let's go on the road."
Let's do this.
Yeah. Actually, we started a conversation a few years ago on a cruise. You know, we backstage in the dressing room. It's like, man, we got to do something together, and we didn't know at the time what that something was. And then when this call came from Dave, I was like, okay, it's time. So I'm proud to be a part of this unit. It's wonderful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, Mindy, back to you. Tell me about how you were approached about this and what made you decide to say yes to Summer Horns.
I mean, I've known all these guys forever, and none of us have toured together. None of us have recorded together. So I was at dinner with Dave one night, and we were doing the same thing, thinking, how can we work together? And we'd found ways over the years, we'd have a couple songs that we'd do together and kind of have our little thing, but we'd never done a project together. And he just said, I've got this idea for a record. It would be horn section centric, and you want to do it? And I thought that was the best idea on the planet, because we can all have our individual styles and our individual, personalities, but yet come together as this section. I mean, an amazing section. The power in the four of us is, it's amazing to be on stage with these three and just feel that. Actually, last night was our first show of the tour.
I was just going to say, how did it go?
My friend was in, probably 10 rows back with his wife, and he said he cried through the first three songs because it was just, that horn section hits you. I know, right? But I just said, you did? But he said the horn section, it's a different high. It's a different feel.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just, wow, okay, I guess we're getting this here.
Dave, I'm sure it wasn't a tuning issue.
It was it? He loved it.
But you know, how did you feel about last night? That was your first night. I'm so happy that your second night is here at the Capitol Jazz Festival.
Thrilled to be back at Capitol, especially with this project. Last night was electric for me, and we were looking at each other, even though we weren't talking to each other during the show, but we were looking, all exchanging these glances like, can you believe this? The thing is it's you really have to try hard to screw these songs up.
Okay.
If you pay respect to the originals, but also do something with them that takes them to a slightly new place without changing them too much, it really is so nostalgic, and it takes people so far back to their childhood and where they were when they heard these songs, and so many wonderful memories. Plus, you get the individual sounds of Richard, Mindy, and Gerald, and me. And you can actually hear our individual sounds within the section, but taken as a whole, as a unit, that blend, somehow it just works. And we didn't even know it was going to work until that first day in the studio when we made the sound together, and we looked at each other again and we said, okay, I think that's our sound.
Yes.
And we were all pretty pleased with it.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, we're really happy that you're here. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk with us here on Capitol Jazz TV.
Thank you.
And all the best with Summer Horns. Pick it up if you don't have it yet. I'm Angela Stribling for Capitol Jazz TV.